What if belly fat isn't really a failure at all? What if it's simply your body trying to protect you? When your brain senses stress or scarcity, it stores extra energy around your waist. Hormones like insulin and cortisol guard those reserves, making them hard to burn. The surprising part is that losing stubborn belly fat is not always about pushing harder. Sometimes the real key is helping your body feel safe enough to finally let go. Not all body fat behaves the same. The fat stored deep inside the abdomen, often called visceral fat, behaves very differently from the fat on your arms or legs. You can imagine it as a tissue that is especially sensitive to stress signals moving through the body. While a minor frustration at work or a poor night of sleep might not seem like a big deal, your body still notices those signals. When stress levels rise, hormones like cortisol increase as part of the body's normal response. Over time, frequent stress signals may encourage the body to store more energy around the midsection. As visceral fat builds up, researchers believe it can also release inflammatory chemicals that influence how the body regulates energy and metabolism. This may create a cycle where stress encourages fat storage, and that stored fat can further affect how the body handles stress signals. This pattern may help explain something often called the skinny fat phenomenon. A person might not appear overweight and may even eat relatively small portions, yet still carry noticeable fat around the waist. In some cases, the body may be responding to long periods of stress, fatigue, or inconsistent nutrition by shifting into a protective, energy-saving mode. In that state, the body tends to hold on to its stored energy more carefully rather than quickly burning it away. But here's where things get even stranger. The problem becomes even more frustrating when the liver enters the picture. Many people assume that if they eat very little, their blood sugar should naturally stay low, but the body is far more complex than that. Your liver functions like a powerful chemical laboratory, constantly managing energy for the body. When stress levels rise, hormones such as cortisol signal that the body might need quick fuel. In response, the liver can begin producing glucose through a process known as gluconeogenesis, which means creating sugar from other substances like amino acids. Imagine waking up after 12 hours without eating. Logically, you might expect your body to be burning stored fat for energy. But if stress levels are high, cortisol may signal the liver to release freshly made glucose into the bloodstream instead. Your body is essentially preparing for a threat that may not actually exist. Once that glucose enters the blood, the pancreas releases insulin to help regulate it. At this point, the body can find itself dealing with both elevated cortisol and insulin at the same time. Since insulin plays a major role in controlling how the body stores and uses energy, this situation can make fat burning more difficult. Instead of easily tapping into stored fat, the body may continue relying on the sugar circulating in the bloodstream, even if that sugar was produced internally. Another piece of the puzzle is something many experts call the endurance paradox. For years, people have been told that the key to losing weight is simply doing more cardio. That idea has led many to spend long hours jogging, running, or pushing through daily sessions on the treadmill or elliptical. At first glance, this seems logical. More movement should mean more calories burned. But the body does not always interpret things that way. From an evolutionary perspective, humans were built for variety and movement. Our ancestors often walked long distances while searching for food and occasionally sprinted when facing danger. Constant, moderate-intensity exercise for hours every day was never part of our natural survival pattern. When the body experiences extended activity without enough recovery, it may interpret the situation as a prolonged period of stress. Hormones such as cortisol can rise to help mobilize energy and keep the body moving. Over time, consistently elevated stress hormones may influence how the body manages energy. In some cases, recovery and muscle maintenance may become more difficult, while the body may also tend to store more energy around the midsection. This is why some people notice that even with frequent cardio, their progress slows. The number on the scale might change, but the body's metabolism and muscle mass may not always improve in the way they expected. And the problem doesn't stop there. This situation often leads people into another common trap: aggressive fasting used in the wrong context. Fasting can be a useful tool for some people, but it does not always work the way many expect, especially during periods of high stress. Think of fasting like a cleanup crew for the body. Under the right conditions, it can help the body reset certain processes and improve metabolic balance. But imagine sending that cleanup crew into a building that is already dealing with an emergency. The situation quickly becomes more chaotic instead of calmer. If someone is sleeping only a few hours a night, managing constant work pressure, and then pushing their body into very long fasting windows, The body may interpret that combination as a signal of energy scarcity. Instead of feeling safe enough to burn stored fat, the body may shift toward conserving energy. During prolonged stress, hormones related to the body's stress response can rise, while systems involved in energy regulation may slow down. Some people notice symptoms like low energy, difficulty concentrating, or feeling unusually cold as the body tries to preserve fuel. The goal of fasting for many people is to support better metabolic balance. However, if the fasting period adds more stress to an already overloaded system, the results may not match expectations. In those cases, the body may prioritize survival and energy conservation rather than fat loss. For many people, this metabolic struggle shows up most clearly at night. You might spend 8 hours in bed, yet still wake up feeling exhausted, as if your body never truly rested. A common experience is falling asleep quickly from pure fatigue, only to wake up suddenly at 2 or 3 in the morning. Your eyes open wide, your mind starts racing, and your body feels strangely alert. Falling back asleep becomes difficult, even though you know you need the rest. During sleep, blood sugar naturally drops as the body continues using energy. Normally, this process is smooth and stable, but when stress levels are high or the body has trouble switching between fuel sources, that drop can feel more dramatic to the body. When the brain senses that energy may be running low, the body can respond by releasing stress hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol. These hormones help signal the liver to release glucose into the bloodstream, providing quick fuel for the brain and other organs. The problem is that this response can also wake you up. Instead of staying in deep, restorative sleep, your body briefly shifts into a more alert state. Over time, repeated interruptions like this may reduce sleep quality, and poor sleep can influence how the body manages stress, appetite, and energy balance the following day. This is where the real shift begins. Breaking this cycle often begins with changing how we think about movement. Instead of pushing the body harder with more long cardio sessions, a simpler strategy can sometimes be surprisingly effective. One approach many experts recommend is taking a short walk shortly after meals. When you eat, blood glucose naturally rises as your body begins digesting and absorbing nutrients. In response, the pancreas releases insulin to help move that glucose into the body's cells, where it can be used for energy. Muscle tissue, however, has a unique ability. When muscles contract during movement, they can increase their demand for glucose and help pull some of that energy out of the bloodstream. This means light activity after eating can support the body in managing rising blood sugar levels. Something as simple as a brisk 10 to 15-minute walk after a meal can encourage your muscles to use the incoming fuel. Instead of remaining elevated in the bloodstream for long periods, more of that energy is directed into active tissues. Beyond blood sugar balance, gentle movement after eating may also support digestion and help the body shift into a calmer, more balanced state. Over time, small habits like this can help the body handle energy more smoothly, allowing metabolism to function without constantly signaling the need to store excess fuel. Once your daytime habits begin to support better balance, the next step is improving what happens while you sleep. For many people, the real struggle shows up in the middle of the night. You might fall asleep quickly, only to wake up around 3 in the morning with a racing mind and a body that feels strangely alert. Even though you are tired, falling back asleep becomes difficult. One possible reason is that blood sugar levels naturally drop overnight. Normally, the body handles this smoothly, but for people dealing with high stress or unstable energy patterns, that drop can sometimes trigger a stress response that briefly wakes the brain. Some sleep specialists suggest a small safety anchor before bed to help stabilize energy levels through the night. Instead of a full snack, it might be something very small, such as a light snack that provides a small amount of easily available energy. The idea is simply to provide a small amount of easily available fuel before sleep. For some people, this may help the body feel more stable overnight, reducing the chance of sudden wake-ups. Better sleep allows the body to spend more time in deeper stages of rest, which are important for recovery, hormone balance, and overall metabolic health. Sometimes, improving fat loss begins with something as simple as protecting the quality of your sleep. Improving sleep lays the groundwork for recovery, but changing your body composition often requires a different approach to movement. Instead of relying only on long sessions of steady cardio, some experts suggest adding short bursts of higher intensity effort. Human bodies evolved around varied movement patterns. Our ancestors often spent long periods walking or gathering food, followed by brief moments of intense effort such as sprinting, climbing, or lifting. Modern workouts sometimes miss this pattern by focusing mainly on continuous, moderate activity. A strategy sometimes called microdosing intensity tries to recreate that natural rhythm. Rather than exercising hard for an entire hour, you perform very short bursts of effort, usually lasting 15 to 20 seconds. This could be a quick hill sprint, a fast push on a stationary bike, or another explosive movement, followed by full recovery before the next burst. Short, high-intensity efforts can strongly activate muscle fibers and encourage the body to adapt by building strength and power. Some research also suggests that this type of training may temporarily increase hormones involved in muscle repair and recovery. When done occasionally, with enough rest between sessions, these bursts can add a powerful signal for growth without requiring hours of daily training. Instead of constantly pushing the body into a stress state, you create short moments of effort that encourage the body to become stronger and more resilient over time. Building a stronger metabolism also means rethinking how you fuel your body. Many people focus only on fasting, but timing your nutrition is really about balance, not extreme restriction. If you choose to practice intermittent fasting, the quality of your eating window becomes extremely important. After many hours without food, the body needs enough nutrients to support recovery, energy, and muscle maintenance. If someone fasts for long periods and then only eats a very small meal, the body may interpret that pattern as ongoing energy scarcity. Instead of signaling stability, it can create the opposite effect. This is why many nutrition experts emphasize the importance of adequate protein during the eating window. Protein is one of the most satisfying nutrients and plays a key role in maintaining muscle mass, supporting recovery, and helping regulate appetite. A commonly suggested guideline in fitness and nutrition circles is about 1 gram of protein per pound of goal body weight, although individual needs can vary depending on activity level, age, and overall health. For example, someone targeting a body weight of around 150 pounds might aim for roughly 150 grams of protein spread across their meals. If hitting those protein levels feels difficult within a short eating window, it may be helpful to shorten the fasting period slightly. The goal is not simply to eat less, but to ensure the body feels consistently fueled and supported. Beyond movement and nutrition, there's another factor that strongly influences how the body handles stress and recovery. It is not a supplement or a complicated protocol, but a shift in emotional state that can influence the body's chemistry. When people experience ongoing stress, hormones involved in the stress response tend to remain elevated. Over time, this can affect sleep, appetite, and how the body manages energy. One way researchers believe we can help calm that response is by activating the body's bonding and relaxation systems. A hormone often associated with these feelings is oxytocin. It is commonly linked to connection, trust, and positive emotional experiences. When oxytocin rises, the body may shift away from the constant fight or flight mode and toward a calmer state. One simple way to encourage this shift is through deliberate moments of gratitude. This is sometimes called vitamin G. Instead of a quick thought, it involves taking a minute to genuinely focus on something you appreciate. It could be a person you care about, a peaceful moment outside, or even the feeling of sunlight on your skin. Practicing this before meals may help the body relax and transition into digestion, while doing it before bed may support a calmer mind before sleep. Small emotional shifts like this can sometimes influence the larger picture of stress, recovery, and overall metabolic health. This content is for educational purposes only and is not medical advice. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to support the channel. Thanks for the support.